Division leaders. Chicago and Detroit are both 1-2. The last 2 weeks, the North team that has had a bye, hasn't played, has actually assumed the division lead. Fellas?
Sean Salisbury is here for analysis and a rating spike, of course.
Can you blame him?
The 1988 Packers started 0-5. Their quarterback then was Randy Wright, the former Wisconsin Badger. Brett Favre is certainly an upgrade, but the Packers are still winless. A little bit, just a little bit. Bottom line is they're still winless. Why didn't they win this one?
Well, you know what? It comes down to this. The Packers made too many mistakes on their side of the ball, but also the Carolina Panthers converted on third down. And all these are going to look elementary to you. These are the things that happen that cause a team to win football games. When you look at this now, after that fumble, have a look now. It's very simple. Little play action. Look how Jake Delhomme sells it. You got to respect the run when you're playing Carolina. Now, these two Packers keep contained and do the right thing. Mangum gets off the block. Great job on the peel-back block to give Delhomme a chance to get the edge, to see it, get his body squared up, make the throw to Mangum. That's like shooting fish in a barrel. It seems pretty easy. Never done it before, though. Now, on this 3rd and 7, another. Now, simple slant route. Look at Steve Smith eyeball Al Harris. Stab on the outside to get Harris moving, then throw him back inside. But I love how he snaps his head around and brings his hands with him for the completion and another 3rd down conversion to keep the chains moving and give him another opportunity. Now Delhomme realizes he's got to shorten his drop because people are coming, and he wants to get the ball to Deshaun Foster quickly. Puts it out in front so Deshaun can run after the catch. Here, John talk about all those yards after the initial contact. How about the run after the catch by Deshaun Foster? So important. I still think 1st down's the most important down in football, but 3rd down was a big point for the Panthers tonight, and they're in the top 10 in the NFL. That's what they're doing well when they're winning football games.
Favre doing what he can offensively. When you complete 28 passes to 10 different receivers, you're getting everybody involved. How much more can he do?
Not much. And for all you clowns that think Brett Favre is done, you're mistakenly wrong, because this guy's still got plenty of game, and Brett has no apologies and needs none for anybody. Here it is, though. When you're dropping back and you can't protect your quarterback right from the start, they're on him like a chicken on a June bug. How's he going to hold on to this football momentum right now off the bat on the road? You've got to block up front. Now Amon Green. Look at the easy penetration. What's Amon supposed to do? No wonder he averaged a couple yards a carry before he got hurt. Too much penetration in the backfield, and then this, the play action. And if things aren't working, people don't respect play action. Brett trying to make something happen, holds the ball, throws it to Green, incomplete. The Panthers weren't buying on anything, but when 9 guys are doing it and then 2 guys aren't, Bert, it makes it really, really tough to execute. And you look at it. You know, Favre makes a great play. Robert Ferguson doesn't. Favre misses a throw when somebody's open. It's too many people not making enough plays when it matters, and it doesn't get any easier for the Green Bay Packers. This is tough. But like I said, Brett Favre's as good a warrior as we have in football. He has no apologies to make to anybody. He's going to compete, and he'll be the starter until this season's over for sure.
And there's no ground game to support either. I know Amon Green got hurt, but now 11 straight games, including the playoffs, where he has not rushed for 100 yards. Next week, Packers host the Saints. On Sunday, Carolina is at Arizona. Sean Salisbury, thanks a lot.
And if I told you Najee Davenport and Amon Green were going to run,
you know, you're back to Randy Wright.
No question about it. Thanks, Bert. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Guys are plus.
Brett Favre provided a thrilling 4th-quarter run at Carolina Monday night, his 19th NFL game with 4 or more touchdown passes, only 2 behind Dan Marino all time. Last week against Tampa Bay, Favre was intercepted 3 times. Green Bay fell to 0-3. Monday, he was much better, distributing the football to 10 different receivers and throwing just 1 pick. But as Ed Werder reports, while Favre's numbers improved, the end result did not.
Sometimes adversity reveals what victory might not. Such was the case Monday night for Brett Favre. With half the Packers' starting offense absent and down by as many as 19 points in the 4th quarter, Favre led 2 touchdown drives, including a 90-yarder, and on his final possession saw only a chance to win. But in the end, he was merely left with another loss in a season of nothing else.
I hate to say that you play a game and leave it out on the field like I did tonight. You walk away. It's not for nothing, you know. But in some ways, it feels like that.
As long as he knows he's not done, that's all that matters. I mean, you know, people are going to say what they want to say, you know, and you have to take the criticism and build off of it, and that's what he does, and that's exactly what I do. So, you know, people keep saying you're not the man, you prove them wrong.
Well, I'd much rather be 4-0. I'd much rather have a win at this point. But as long as I'm going to play, I'm going to give everyone their money's worth. I can promise you that.
Favre threw 4 touchdown passes, but they were not enough to offset a first half that included 2 turnovers, neither of which appeared to be the quarterback's fault. Still, the Packers are 0-4, and that may be something else they can't overcome.
It's a deep hole. It's a deep grave, rather. We got to try to find our way out.
Pouting doesn't do any good. Moping around, pointing fingers at other guys doesn't do any good. Other guys may do that, and that's fine. They won't be around long.
In the Packer locker room, Favre limped around on a sore ankle, appearing both old and anguished. The disappointment of being 0-4, he said, will be diminished by the knowledge that he could not have been better prepared or played with greater intensity. In Charlotte, I'm Ed Werder, ESPN.
Packers allowing at least 10 points off turnovers in each game this season. In the last 3 weeks, that's been more than they lost by. Now Sean's back with his Ron Franklin imitation in the Visa Skycam play of the game.
All right, here's our Visa Skycam play of the game. Burt, the give to Stephen Davis, cuts inside Al Harris, 10-5, he will score. The Visa Skycam play of the game is a touchdown, courtesy of Steve Davis of the Panthers run game.
Skycam play of the game, brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With
I love Rondé with the right, punching out the lights, a night at the fights, and twins. I know Texas getting toasted, peanut getting roasted, a kid named Kane kicks it in, and I love you too, and I love you too. Here we go now. I love JJ's Okey Doke, looking like a joke. The fish getting smoked once again. I love cutting like a cleaver, a wicked wide receiver, some bird watching, and big wins. And I love week 5, and I love you too, and I love you too, and I love you too. Here's the football!
Yo, what's up? Stuart Scott rolling with Neil Everett. 90-minute block party we call Sportcenter. Some crazy NFL breakthroughs and almost too much playoff drama in 2 sports.
At the World Golf Championship, Tiger Woods and John Daly, they go to sudden death. Wait until you see how that one ended.
And all eyes on the boogie down for a must-win Game 4. The Yankees needing somebody, anybody to step up or else.
Plus, 18 innings later in Houston, with the Rocket in relief, Astro fans get the walk-off they were waiting for. It's all on SportsCenter. Right now.
Swing and a drive, left field. This one is gone.
This is SportsCenter.
The NFL's Iron Man, the Man of Steel, on Sunday. Packers flat out punished the Saints, putting up 50+. Falcons turn the tables on the Patriots, the Super Bowl champs, counting on their Superman at the wire in Atlanta. And the Cowboys come out firing against Philadelphia's finest. McNabb and the Eagles getting roasted down in Dallas.
Having a couple of technical difficulties because it's live TV. Got to go back to that Braves-Astros game. Or not. Some football. Eagles-Cowboys.
That's a fix.
Bledsoe and the Cowboys been outscored 24-0 in the first quarter. But first drive of the season, Bledsoe finds Terry Glenn wide open. 7-zip Cowboys. Glenn 7 catches, $118. Kids liked it so much they decided to do it again. I ain't gonna say to them, but this ain't right. Glenn again, money again. Eagles had the ball only 19 minutes, 17 seconds, and their offense was stuck in neutral with the gears grinding. McNabb blitzed, Brian Westbrook wide open. My bad. Eagles only 6 first downs. He had the whole field in front of him. Only had 129 yards total offense. Third quarter, 30-3 Cowboys. Bledsoe representing Keyshawn Johnson, but Keyshawn popped and drops it. Sheldon Brown gets it and goes 80 yards the other way. Now, it didn't do much damage to the Cowboys except for their pride. Right after that play on the sideline, Bledsoe lit into Keyshawn. Keyshawn's like, yo, don't light into me, and it was on. Bledsoe said later when we turned the ball over, I wasn't happy, but he did say a minute later it was over. Terrell Owens caught the pass but didn't get the first down. 5 catches, 50 yards. Cowboys win big, but Ed Werder, what about that sideline blow-up?
It was as though, for a day at least, the Cowboys were magically transformed into the Eagles. They had the big play offense, the blitzing defense, the blowout victory, and even a sideline confrontation between the starting quarterback and the volatile wide receiver. It was not Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens arguing, but Drew Bledsoe and Keyshawn Johnson after the receiver's fumble produced Philadelphia's only touchdown.
At that point in the game, I felt like we were just absolutely manhandling them. And then to turn the ball over in that situation, you know, I wasn't happy about it. So I said something to him, and he's an emotional guy. Everybody knows that, so he fired back at me.
I'm not the type of person that point fingers at anybody. I don't want anybody saying anything to me, you know, in situations when balls are bounced to your feet and you don't say anything. Whether it would be a coach or a player, anybody that has anything to say when a negative play go on at that particular time, you don't want to hear that.
That's fine, and I don't have a problem with it. I understand Keyshawn. I know he's a volatile guy, and you know, I'm not going to back down if he says something.
I asked Bledsoe in the locker room what he said to Johnson that would provoke him in a game the Cowboys were still leading by 20 points. Bledsoe says he simply told the receiver to, quote, hold on to the ball. At Texas Stadium, I'm Ed Werder, ESPN.
Defending Super Bowl champion New England in Atlanta. Matt Schwab at quarterback. Michael Vick, nothing but a spectator, out with an injured wheel. Patriots got the first 7 on a Patrick pass run, and they get the second 7 on a Tom Brady touchdown pass to Daniel Graham. He's going 45 yards to make it 14-zip. Oh, Pats. We're going to get big ups to offensive guard Stephen Neal on the play. Telestration makes the block. Arrow makes sure he doesn't get in the way of Graham's big ups. Graham goes Edwin Moses. New England jumps in front big. Would it be too much of a hurdle for the Falcons to get by? No, they make a game of it. Michael Kanan in the final seconds of the first half from 58 yards. It's no good, but it's no play. Spot shadow never lies. Special teams captain Mike Vrabel asking for time, so Kanan will get another shot from 58. And guess what?
Snap, one more for Kanan. High enough, and it is good from 58. How about that? Hang that one in your ear. Yep. Where's that timeout now, Mike Vrabel? It's in your pocket, big cat.
Why the announcers talking?
14-13. New England scored on a 2-play, 78-yard drive to open the second half and didn't let up. Brady to Bethel Johnson, 55 yards, 28-13. Brady, 22 of 27, 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. Falcons get back into the game, 28-20, 4 minutes left. Schaub finds Des White. Schaub 18 of 34, 298 yards and 3 scores. This game is a 2-point conversion from being tied. This game is tied. Brian Finneran on the receiving end, but have the Falcons left too much time for you-know-who? Any Brady magic will have to come without Corey Dillon, who had his first 100-yard rushing game of the year, undisclosed disappearing act. Pats wouldn't need him. Falcons gave him plenty of help. Allen Rossum called for the pass interference after knocking Deion Branch down. New England clearly in Adam Vinatieri's range, but closer is always better. 2 minutes left, much closer. Patrick pass for 15 yards. And this leads to a familiar scenario.
Oh, well, stop the highlight. I mean, he's going to get it. It's Adam Vinatieri.
From 29, good. 19th game-winning kick of his career. 2 of those won Super Bowls. This one beat the Falcons 31-28. Sean Salisbury, you're mic'd.
All right, Neil, the Patriots look like the championship Patriots on Sunday. Run the football with Corey Dillon, get the tight ends involved, which opens everybody else up. This was the recipe they've used for 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowl championships. And then Tom Brady executes it to perfection. Daniel Graham on a linebacker. You know you got a mismatch. Instead of being forced down inside where the route's no good, he gets back up on his stem, finds Brady, gets right to the corner. Remember this because it's going to come back to get Brady to give him another chance against the Falcons defense. The great throw puts it on Graham's arms and allows him to extend the field, which they did with all their players at the tight end position today. Then Ben Watson, the former #1 draft pick from Georgia. Great speed and physicality. What's this? Looks like he's going to go to the corner. Nope. He's going to go right to stay skinny. And Brady makes a nice, soft lob touch for the touchdown before a safety can get there, recognized man. And where have you been? Commitment to the run game. Corey Dillon today. They dominated the line of scrimmage, and instead of wasting time coming back, Corey says, let me get up inside, 7-8 yards, the hard yards, especially after contact. And Neil, this is the type of team that if the Patriots will commit to this, they will be around in January, late January, come championship time.
I think it goes without saying that Tom Brady is your Dockers all-around performer.
He's also dreamy.
Oh, yeah. His 18th game-winning drive in the fourth quarter overtime, the most by any quarterback since he took over the Pats in 2001. It was the second time he'd done it this year as well, also beating the Steelers on a game-winning drive. Oh, back to baseball game. Before the season kicked off, the odds of the Bengals winning the AFC Championship were 15-1. They are now 3-1. When it came to winning the Super Bowl, Cincinnati was 25-1. That number is now 6-1. All this according to the Mirage Race and Sportsbook in Las Vegas. Clearly, the Bengals are no mirage, although if you've followed them closely, they haven't made the playoffs or had a winning record since 1990. You may feel like the start of the season is a hallucination. Cincy unbeaten and at Jacksonville, Bengals not favored for the first time this season. Chad Johnson earlier this week told Sports Illustrated, I've got all kinds of original material that can top the cell phone and the Sharpie, and I'll probably do something on Sunday night when we play at Jacksonville. I can hardly wait.
You got to score first.
Early second. Yeah, and winning the game, too. Johnson makes the catch, gets hit hard by Rashean Mathis, and Mathis reminding Johnson that freedom of speech isn't just his right. Johnson, though, will get our Visa Skycam play of the game right here. Carson Palmer rolls out and hits Johnson in the corner of the end zone. 14-yard touchdown pass, 5 catches, 52 yards, and he did get both feet down right there, and then he gives the football CPR. No comment from the football. Opening drive, second half, Jags, Byron Leftwich, Ernest Wilford. He's got reservations for 6. It's 20-7. Leftwich's second touchdown pass of the game. Fourth quarter, 3-point game, 90 seconds to go. Bengals on the Jags, 45. Palmer, fumble! The Jags recover. Take another look.
Risky.
Now, this is Leftwich and Palmer were the first 2 quarterbacks drafted in that 2003 draft. Palmer in the pocket. Darrell Smith gets a hand on the ball. Bobby McCray knocks it loose. Johnson and the football lose to the Bengals, 23. Lose to the Jags, 23-20.
Skycam.
4-0 for the first time since '97. Facing a Jets team whose quarterback is 41 years old and hadn't thrown an NFL pass since January. Rondé Barber gets into it with Kevin Moreeeee, takes a swing, and accidentally hits referee Butch Hanna. Take a look at it again. Hanna, bloody but unbowed. Flag on the play. They did not throw Rondé out, did give him a personal foul. Jets would score a touchdown in that possession. Third quarter now. How about that? Vinny Testaverde to Doug Jolly, 17-yard gain. Vinny, 10 of 12, 120 yards in the second half. 2 weeks ago, he was on his couch watching football on Long Island. Same drive, Herm Edwards. On 4th down, Curtis Martin got it.
My realistic expectation today was to get the guys to believe in me so that we can get this season turned around, because the guys, I think their confidence was wavering a little bit after losing both Chad and Jay.
Jets hold on to win it 14-12 behind Vinny Testaverde.
Let's continue our unbeaten theme with the Redskins trying to stay that way at Denver. Champ Bailey, he can't play. He's injured. Clinton Portis, he did play. Remember, those two were traded for each other. First quarter, Redskins down 7, driving. Quick pitch, Portis left side, 2-yard line, touchdown 2 plays later. Portis 103 yards on 20 carries. Third quarter, 14-10, Redskins down. Field goal opportunity, Nick Novak blocked. 2 Broncos got hands on that one. The Skins miss a chance. Ensuing Broncos possession, Tatum Bell to the right side and gets some sensational blocks, and he's going 55 yards. 21-10, Bell 2 touchdowns and 127 yards. Just over a minute left. Redskins on the 11-yard line, down 8. Brunell, Chris Cooley. Touchdown! Joe Gibbs says, well, I've been gone, but I know we need to go for 2. And 2 they go for, and Brunell rolls left. Maybe he could have run, maybe not. Ian Gold deflected it, and the Broncos win it, 21-19.
And the pitch. Swinging, lining.
The ultimate highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
And here we go again. 2005 postseason play.
I saw myself shine. My weakness is that I can't do much. And my scars remind me that the past is real.
The NHL skates once again.
Just to fail. I tried to help you once against my own advice. Compassion's in my nature. Tonight is our last stand. Tear my heart open. Saw myself shine. And my weakness is that I can't do much.
The White Sox are going to the American League Championship Series.
But at least I can say
The moment is finally here. Sidney Crosby.
on with my own life. Tear my heart open. I saw myself shine. And my weakness is that I can't do much. And our scars remind us that the past is real. I tear my heart open just to feel.
The ultimate highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
For number 4 of Miami, Devin Hester. You won't believe what you're about to see. Whoop! Against Duke. Whoop! And he gets away. And then whoop! Between defend. Whoop! Goes outside. He's gone. Devin Hester gone. Can you believe they call it back because of a penalty? But it doesn't matter. You've seen it on plays.
Your Monday during the NFL season is not complete without Open Mic with the playmaker Michael Irvin and the head coach Mike Ditka. See, he doesn't even acknowledge the camera. He doesn't even, unlike you find the camera, it finds him.
Well, I'm saying hi to my people. My people are there. Hi, I'm here. Let's go.
All right, what'd you think of all the old quarterbacks doing well yesterday?
Well, it was nice, and it was a little bit of brain over bronze, but this thing we must understand. Vinny coming off the couch, having a great game, happy for him, but there's nothing long-term here. You know, the reason you play a Vinny Testaverde in spots like that, because he's a little older and he's going to get tired. First game back, great job, Vinny, but there's a long season to go, and those old guys get tired.
Well, I want to tell you something. Vinny Testaverde didn't throw the ball any better 10 years ago when he threw it yesterday. Why? And you remember you also anticipation? He anticipated where the receiver was going to be, and then he let it go. What about Drew Bledsoe? Has he ever played any better? And I got to give a lot of credit to Coach Parcells because the ball's coming out quicker down there. And then I want to wrap it up with my favorite. The guy who's over the hill, that can't play anymore, Brett Favre, who looked like he was 22 years old yesterday, makes you look bad. Then I'm going to throw in a couple. I'm going to throw
What are they, 1-4? I don't know if it makes me look bad.
What about
look at the overall record here?
With the injuries they have to be 1-4, they're lucky they're not 0-10, and they only played 65 games.
That's what I read.
I want to say one thing. Also, Dilfer's playing pretty good. He's an old guy. Right. Holcomb came off the bench, played pretty good. So, hey, listen, more power to the old guys.
But I want you to talk to me about Vinny in Week 16.
I will.
Because last year, remember last year, Coach, when they were playing for the Cowboys, he didn't even warm up because he got so tired towards the end of the season. A good backup old guy, if I can ask you to play once a month, get in there and win a game, that's great. But not every
You heard it. Week 16, we'll see.
We'll see. And the Jets, they'll be right here, too. They can talk to us, too, because they won't be in the playoffs. Go ahead on, Dan.
The Ravens with 21 penalties, 2 players ejected. Has Brian Billick lost control of this team?
You know, I won't put all of that on Brian Billick. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk to Ray this week, and that's where it all lies, because it's Ray's team. It's always been Ray Lewis's team, and especially defensively. Now, you could talk about all the things that are going on offensively. They've always been bad offensively. But what I see defensively, I'm asking Ray, so I put it right at his feet.
Well, he didn't lose control, but the players lost control. The only thing players understand is if you hit them in the wallet. You know that, Michael. I mean, you know, these guys are kicked out of the game. The league's probably come after them. The one call was a horrible call. All the guy did was sack the quarterback. It was a horrible call. The NFL may not like that. I really don't care. You got to make calls based on, it's football. You know, it is a collision game. Guys are going to run into the quarterback once in a while. If they do it fair in the effort, you know, somebody intent has to be enrolled into this. If there's no intent, don't call the penalty. I'm saying he didn't lose control, but those players lost control. You can't do it. You're not going to win an argument with the officials. Believe me, I argue with officials my whole life. I never won.
But the word, you just sound like a lawyer in a court of law with intent and all that stuff.
Don't say lawyer.
All right, okay. I won't even bring it up.
Lawyer and liberal. I don't go that way.
All of that is frustration coming out of the poor play. Yeah. And I'm asking Ray, what's going on with the poor play? That's the answer.
But this is 21 penalties. This is 2 guys get ejected. This isn't just an isolated incident.
And if we're winning football games, none of this is happening because we can brush off all that everybody else is saying. So I want to know, Ray, why is this defense giving up?
Miami had 18 penalties coming out of a bye week. Great. You think Saban coaches that way? No. They had 18 penalties on them yesterday. That cost them a football game also. That's a lot of penalties, gang. Be careful what you're looking at.
What about the Eagles getting thrashed in Dallas? What went wrong with the Eagles? After last week, we're talking about them being the best team in the NFC. Right. Now this week, as they head into a bye week, we're starting to question how good they are.
Whenever something goes wrong with the Eagles, it falls right where it should, because this is a passing football team. Donovan, what's wrong with Donovan? And we know Donovan's playing with a lot of injuries, playing through a lot of pain, and I commend them for that. But you got to get the ball where it belongs, and he has to make the plays.
Well, what about that defense that got just manhandled?
That surprised me too. That was a little surprising, and I don't know what happened there, but I expect that to happen sometimes because really you can run on this defense. Look what Atlanta did. You can do some things with them. I want
but they don't put up 33 points on them.
It comes down to Donovan. You watch Donovan last week. Watch him the week before that. That's the Donovan needs to be on the football field.
Sunday, I made a comment, this football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, will go as far as Donovan takes them.
That's it.
Now, they start 2 games, they're 17 down in both games. They come back 2 weeks ago, they win the football game. Great effort by Donovan McNabb.
Right.
The same effort was there yesterday, exactly. They can't get down 17-0. They have no running game. Yesterday, they gained 19 yards rushing.
Had a good game yesterday?
No, I said he didn't have a good game. But you can't put all
nobody did.
They had 19 yards rushing. You understand what I'm saying? You can't
But
play.
they don't win rushing, Coach, and you can't. They never run the football. They won more games than anybody the last 4 or 5 years.
Let me tell you,
running the football.
But they weren't throwing the ball 40 to 50 times a game. That's the difference. Now they're throwing the ball because they're behind. They have to throw the ball. They have to play catch-up. They can't do that. That's not their game. And if their defense doesn't hold up like it didn't yesterday, they're in a deep patrol.
And a healthy Donovan McNabb has always been part of the running game. He's been part of the running game. When he sits in the pocket and tries to be Peyton Manning, there's a problem. If we're designing runs for him like Michael Vick, there's a problem. But he's falling somewhere in the middle, in the pocket sometimes, but when the lane open up, that Eagle must run.
No matter what you want to say about McNabb, what he did and didn't do, have you seen an Eagles defense look that embarrassed?
I haven't seen. No, I haven't. And Terry Glenn had a big game.
Glenn ate him up.
A big game, and I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think Terry Glenn I didn't think he could do what he did.
You didn't think he had your speed?
Well, he's faster than me, I hope.
I know that.
What was that, brother?
Cheap shot there. That's open mic. The Eagles, by the way, have a bye week, so they can.
Much to cover.
I realize that, but not that much time. You have Monday Night Countdown to talk about that, unless Stewart won't give you the opportunity that I give you.
Don't use all the points I gave you tonight now.
Because that's what you do. You take stuff from here and you take it over to Monday Night Countdown.
That's right.
We watch. We watch.
You guys are
7:30 Eastern. You can watch the playmakers steal all of Coach Ditka's great lines here. Thank you, man.
Still to come is the manager, Mike Scioscia. The rest of his news conference can be seen on ESPN News. Meanwhile, there are 2 ways to look at the performance of the Miami Dolphins yesterday in Buffalo. The pessimist would say they committed 18 penalties, they turned the ball over 5 times, and they muffed a punt. The optimist would say, yeah, they did all of that, and they still had a chance to win late in the game. Plus, there's this. This week, they get back the prodigal son, Ricky Williams, who watched film today, will practice Wednesday, and will play Sunday for the first time in 20 months. Hank Goldberg has the latest from Dolphins camp.
When the Dolphins picked Ronnie Brown in the draft, Coach Nick Saban started thinking about him and Ricky Williams together in his backfield. Now that Ricky is back off suspension, that could be a challenge for Tampa Bay's defense on Sunday, however the pair is used.
As we play these two guys together, we feel like both guys have the ability to do the things that we're talking about, and maybe we can create some issues and problems for the other team by doing that.
Ricky looked good in preseason, averaging 4.2 yards per rush on 30 carries. Ronnie has averaged 4.3 and has run for 229 yards in his last 2 games.
Ronnie's a good receiver. He's got good speed. He's got some blocking ability. Did a nice job in this game on 3rd down, and helping, chip and pick up the pressures and block. And he's started to demonstrate his feeling in the offense in terms of what he can do. He's shown that he has receiving capabilities. So as we play these two guys together, we feel like both guys have the ability to do the things that we're talking about.
Will the Ronnie and Ricky show create any ego problems? Coach Saban points out there's a sign in the locker room that says, out of yourself and into the team. And while Ricky is back, he's silent for now. He says he will not speak until after he plays in a game. I'm Hank Goldberg, and I'm speaking to you from the Dolphins facility in Davie, Florida for ESPN.
Hammer, thank you. The Dolphin backfield gets crowded now with the return of Ricky. He improved the Dolphins' running game substantially after coming over in 2002 from New Orleans, gaining over 100 yards in 3 of his first 4 games. Brown, the 2nd pick in the draft, averaging just over 80 yards per in his first 4 games.
Armed with 20/20 vision, we look at Week 5 through the eyes of our Monday evening quarterback, Sean Salisbury. Biggest surprise Week 5?
Has to be Vinny Testaverde, Dan. Not that he's the consummate pro, wouldn't come in prepared, but that he was so successful doing it against a top-flight defense. He was patient. When the ball was open down the field, he made the pitch, and it was open underneath. He took what they gave him. A lot of young quarterbacks and even some veterans can learn from Vinny's performance. I thought he was great. And I think that what Vinny brings to this table now is a team that now has a vertical passing game and allows them to be competitive in the East.
Biggest disappointment?
Got to be the Eagles giving up on the ground game. The rush for 19 yards in the game with a hurt quarterback who's beat up and pounded. I know they got down early, but when you get down early, you can still come back as long as you continue to establish your game plan. And part of getting down early is not running the football and allowing Dallas to get after your quarterback. They need to run the ball more or they will not win the East.
Best coaching move Week 5?
Bill Belichick. He's known the last couple weeks this guy has not touched it, Corey Dillon. He decided, you know what, we'll mix the tight end in, but 28's going to be the main man for us, and then we'll let Tom Brady make the good decisions. Corey Dillon opened it up, did the right thing. The team that's supposed to rush the ball well, the Atlanta Falcons, didn't get near their 200-plus yards, but Corey Dillon, Patrick Pass, the run game commitment enabled New England to go on the road and do what they always do, win after losing a game.
Worst coaching move on Sunday?
Got to be Brian Billick, and it's not just by penalties, Dan, which was 21 of them, but it's by everything. The undisciplined, the fact that they're not doing much well. They don't have the guys, the physicality that they normally need. Brian Billick looks to me like he did not have control of this football team, and everything's out of control, uncharacteristic for a Billick team. This does not look like the same Ravens team. Brian not keeping his team under control.
How about worst referee call?
Well, Dan, it was a couple of them. One, you see Rondé Barber there knocking the referee down, and this is not typical of Rondé Barber, the ultimate gentleman, but you just can't do this. And when you don't get kicked out of the game, that's a wrong move. I'll guarantee there'll be a fine in that one for Rondé. And then this, Ed Reed, little mistaken identity. Ed Reed pushes, look at his left hand, shoving the referee out of the way. Ed Reed stayed in the game. He did not get kicked out. So referees missed, but Dan, we got to cut him a little slack because there was some Troy Vincent, there was some punishment that went on the field. It was a tough day for referees all the way around.
But this is what I don't understand. If we throw Jeremiah Trotter and Kevin Mathis out in the season opener, I thought there was going to be a crackdown on this. Some guys weren't. Rondé Barber wasn't thrown out.
No, I know, Dan, and there should be a crackdown on the main thing, and that was in the pregame. Here we are in the game. What's going on? Referees getting hit in the face. No referee got hit during that game, the pregame with Philadelphia. There's no question. There will be fines levied, and you should be kicked out anytime you touch the ref, and uncharacteristic of a guy like Rondé Barber.
It's Monday evening quarterback with Sean Salisbury. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Dan.
More football as we... And who we will see tonight on Monday Night Football is in some mighty impressive company. He has an NFL record rushing touchdown streak of 16 games. Lenny Moore from the Colts in the early 60s holds the record for 18. Tomlinson has now scored 68 touchdowns in 67 games. Only 3 other players in history have averaged more than a touchdown per game at any time beyond the 60-game mark. Jim Brown Emmitt Smith, and Steve Van Buren, who had 71 touchdowns after 70 games in his career. Michael Irvin, tell us more about the new LT.
Well, in his first 4 seasons in the NFL, no one has touched the ball more than LaDainian Tomlinson. I call him the Tom Hanks of the NFL. He's a guy that can play any role at any time. He throws the ball, he catches the ball, and we all know he can run the ball.
What a cut. How do you let that guy get so open? He just makes you look foolish. He's out of here. It's the best back in the game today. You go, LT.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate yourself on the following parts of your game. Running inside where it hurts.
I'll say 8. When he sees that hole or sees that lane, he is so quick to hit it.
Big hole, left side 10, 15, he's gone! He's gone!
Running outside the Tigers.
8.5.
Well, he's got great one-step acceleration, and he has the speed, obviously, to turn the corner. He's got a great combination.
Pitch out, running, LT behind the block,
Get in there.
10, go! Touchdown, Chargers!
Catching the ball out of the backfield.
9.
He just does an excellent job of catching the ball and is probably as sure-handed as any back I've been around.
Reese drops straight back to throw, sets up, throws it in. Tomlinson with a great catch, and he's gone.
Blocking.
I like the block, so I'm gonna say 9 too. He's a great blocker and provides me with great protection, and it's something that really puts me at ease in the passing game, knowing that I got a guy like that back there that's got my back.
Last but not least, throwing.
Man, my quarterback rate is pretty high, so I'm gonna have to say 9.5. He can throw the ball when called upon. He's thrown 2 touchdowns, 1 to me, now 1 to Keenan, and every time it's been put in his hands, he's put it right on the money.
LT wants to throw the ball, and it's a touchdown to Keenan McCardell.
Since LaDainian Tomlinson entered the league in 2001, no NFL player has more touches from scrimmage. Whether a run, a catch, or a throw, more than 1,700 in all. What makes you so versatile?
I don't know, I try to work on all aspects of my game. Growing up, I played some quarterback, so, I guess throwing the football was natural to me. But I always ran it. I was like Michael Vick growing up. I always ran the football. So they said, what, this guy like to run it. We just gonna stick him at running back.
What can you do on the field that we haven't seen yet?
Play receiver.
You can do that effectively?
I can do it effectively.
How effectively can you do it?
Mike, you forget I had 100 catches. I think I can make the Pro Bowl at receiver. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not bragging, but no, I think I can be a solid receiver.
Well, as you can see, LT, he does so many things, and he does them all well. Joining me now on the Playmaking Made Easy field, 2 quarterbacks, John Salisbury.
Your lifeline, baby.
And Ron Jones. I like being surrounded by quarterbacks. And they'll talk about how can you stop LT.
And guys, as quarterbacks, and Jaws and I know this, like being surrounded by great running backs, and you played with one in Emmitt Smith. And Pittsburgh's got the dubious task of trying to stop LT when the Chargers now have got him in the mix, not only catching the ball, guys, but running it. So we're going to give you fans and people how much easier it is in your living room to stop LT than it is on the field. I'm going to be LT out of the backfield going this way with Jaws and Michael as a linebacker. See, there's no way that they're going to play LT in man coverage on a linebacker because, Mike, I own you, right?
That battle?
Exactly. So
well,
if you're,
LT will own the linebacker.
Exactly.
You don't own me.
If Pittsburgh's doing it, what do you say? Let's play him in and out coverage. Well, that means he comes, now I'm a charging, I break out, Mike's got me, I challenge inside, Jaws is there. It's zone, but it's zone with an eye single to our man LT. And if I want to beat him up the middle on this cone coverage, they're going to have help over the top to prevent him from making the home run and pressure. Now, guys, in the run game.
I'm the
it's tough.
DN.
Easier said than done.
I'm the
Here we are.
DN.
Here's what LT does now in the run game. You get him, he'll like to bait you. He's so quick and powerful. Stab, get you to lose contain, get outside. And it's the same outside. You keep that outside arm free, stab, boom, pop back up inside, and he's so quick and explosive. And Jaws the other way to prevent this if he's coming outside. You stay in your gaps.
Number one, it's all about discipline from a defensive perspective. And a lot of teams, they play a running back like Tomlinson's skill, they like to use a spill technique. In other words, the tackle and ends, they must win right here. Force them to the next gap. Okay, you got a safety here. Force them to the next gap. There's a corner out there. Now, the one guy who has never missed a tackle in history is that sideline right there. So spill him to the sideline.
And he never will miss a tackle. And what may be football's best player, guys, much easier on us than it's going to be on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Playmaking made easy. This is the staple of ESPN.
Good job.
Thank you.
Playmaking made easy. Brought to you by Staples. That was easy.
If you're a sports...
Sportcenter. Brought to you by NBA Live 2006. Their moves, your control. In stores now.
Monday Night Football, Chargers hosting the Steelers. LaDainian Tomlinson, 16 straight games with a rushing touchdown. Jerome Bettis getting ready for his first action of the year. Calf injury is all better. Second quarter, Steelers already up 7-0. Drew Brees looking for Antonio Gates. Not to beat. James Harrison's got the pick. He's going the other way, and now LT, oh, he got a little of his own medicine. That's a guy wearing 92 going up top, brings it back 25 yards. Check out Harrison getting his Larry Centers vibe on. Up and over he goes. Excellent run by the big man, and Bill Cowher, the marvelous mandible is enjoying the defensive intensity there. Steelers, ensuing drive. Give me the bus. That's what he was saying there. Bus, 17 carries, 54 yards, touchdown. Steelers up 14-0. Light on his feet for a big man. Oh, look at that. That's the pipes. Chargers, though. Get the ball back, going for it. Antonio Gates this time does have it. Touchdown, 38 seconds left in the half. It is 14-7 at intermission. We go to the fourth quarter now. 14-13 Steelers. LaDainian Tomlinson breaking free like you know he can. A little swing pass. 21 going to go 41 yards. Chargers get a field goal on that drive. The third one by Nate Kading gives them a 16-14 lead. Steelers, ball back. Ben Roethlisberger looking for the rookie Heath Miller. Never be afraid to throw it across the middle early. 16-yard touchdown pass. Steelers up 21-16. Roethlisberger 17 of 26, 225 yards. TD pass, TD run. Thompson gets his TD run. 17 TDs in a row, 17 games in a row now with a rushing touchdown. He is one off the record for games with a touchdown of any sort. That's 18. Steelers less than 2 driving back. Roethlisberger just marches them down the field, but you see he goes down hard and he is in pain. His team's in field goal range, but Roethlisberger's heading to the bench. Luis Castillo gets his knee, and the joint is just not made to go that direction. He would leave. Significant hyperextension of the knee. Bone bruise, MRI on Tuesday. 10 seconds left now. Jeff Reed comes in from 40. 24 straight field goal he's made from less than 50 yards. Steelers win 24-22. Roethlisberger rejoices. I'm sure that makes Daniil feel better temporarily. Anyway, Steelers improved to 3-1. Roethlisberger to 16-1 as a starter, but his Monday night debut could be a huge downer depending on what the pictures show on that left knee. Charlie Batch came in to back him up. He's backing him up because Tommy Maddox pulled a calf muscle Friday. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. What Batch did, very smart. 4 straight handoffs to the bus. Pittsburgh's 5th straight win over the Chargers. So how's the knee?
Our football team never quit believing. They never quit playing hard. And there was a very strong sense of confidence on the sideline, even as they came over and even after they took the lead. But, you know, that's a good football team we played. And, you know, to come out here on a Monday night, you know, it's a big win for us.
When you get 2 good football teams matched up against one another, it's going to come down to a play here or a play there, and that's what happened. And unfortunately, you know, we're sitting in the losing locker room. But I think when you look at our football team, the one thing we played as hard as we can play throughout the entire contest, and That, I think, is what makes the disappointment even greater.
Steelers have now won 9 straight road games, which is 3 times longer than the second longest active streak in the NFL. Pittsburgh's 9-game road win streak, which began when Roethlisberger made his first career start, now ties the franchise record set from 1974-75. A lot of things to talk about. Steve, Sean?
All right, let's get to NFL Live. Why? Oh, you always give it to Trey. He says live, you say wired.
Oh, I thought you were going to say NFL Live's fantasy man, Sean Salisbury.
No,
my bad.
I was going live wired.
Right. Well, let's get live wired.
All right, let's do it. Hey, for the Steelers, this is obviously easier to deal with because they won the football game.
Right.
As John mentioned, MRI Tuesday on Ben Roethlisberger. Let's say this is serious. This is almost a Jet situation, get an old Steeler quarterback off the couch.
Well, and you know what's interesting? In Ben Roethlisberger, all he does is win. He's been consistent. The game plan would have to change with Ben Roethlisberger out now. Why you don't throw it that much when Roethlisberger's in 18 to 22 times. If you're a defense playing against the Steelers without Ben, and now Maddox out also, and you're down to Chuck Batch, the third quarterback, well, then you've got to change some things. Kenny Wisenhunt, the offensive coordinator. If it is significant, it is the AFC leaves.
Yep.
So it's a much more, the 5 best teams in football are all in the AFC.
Yep.
And if Roethlisberger misses much, then it comes down to, can they run the football effectively? If I'm a defense playing Pittsburgh, if Roethlisberger's out, you know what I do? I bring everybody up and say, Willie Parker, Bettis, Staley, you guys aren't beating me. That quarterback there, Charlie Batch, is going to have to beat me. If that comes down to it, could be a tough situation for the Steelers. But if Ben's back in there, this team will continue to run well. When you're that physical, you got a chance every week.
Batch has only handled really a handful of downs over the last 3 years. Now, listen, if we, coming into this, if I were to say which running game you think we'll be talking about, most people would say you got to talk Chargers running game. But let's look at Steelers running game. Jerome Bettis said, I feel great, I feel fresh, and officially, I'm back.
Well, yes, he is, and he is fresh, and he did run the ball well. And what he gives you with Willie Parker, and when Staley comes back, you get a little bit of everything. You get inside, you get the in-between with Staley, and you get the outside with Parker. But tonight, Bettis and Parker got after it, which opened up some other things down the field, too. Little fake inside of the fullback Kreider, but that makes everybody come down because of the presence inside. This offensive line is so physical, and look, first contact, Steve, is 10 yards down the field. That is not good when somebody's hitting you 10 yards. Now, this is the big bust. Look at the double Dutch bust, mind you. He's not just a fat back. He gets it inside there. He is quick on his feet, as John Anderson said, follows the blocks with the most physical offensive line in football. And after he gets hit, another 4 or 5 yards. These guys always fall forward. And here's Willie Parker one more time. The ability to stab the foot in the ground, go off the blocks when everybody's got a hat on a hat, and instead of making a move outside, play off the lead blocker and get it back inside, and once again leaves with that initial contact, you get 6, 7, 8 more yards. 2 real good football teams. This is the way it's supposed to be played on Monday night, and the Pittsburgh Steelers came out with the one play, 3 or 4 make a difference. Steelers did it in the end.
Good NFL product.
It is, but I'm telling you what, the Chargers are going to stick around before the season's over, I promise you.
All right, Tuesday at 4 Eastern on ESPN when Trey says, let's get NFL Live.
Wired.
There you go. That's
Thanks,
next time you can see Sean.
I can't miss him like that again.
Glad you guys finally got your act. Ben Roethlisberger limped off. The Steelers powered on. Jerome Bettis' legs healthy for the first time all season. Carried the ball 4 straight times after Big Ben hurt his knee. Then Jeff Reed's right leg booted the game-winning field goal. Pittsburgh 24, Chargers 22. Colleen Dominguez has a talking bus.
Jerome, your first game back, how did it feel out there?
You know, it felt good. I mean, I was excited and ready to go. So they worked me in slowly, but I was looking forward.